He didn't even give me the courtesy of meeting up with me. No, it's too much. Of writing me a text, a WhatsApp. Hey, the wedding has been cancelled. I'm not interested in this anymore. Nothing. I continued to prepare for the wedding, awaiting reconciliation.
And it had been cancelled already.
I didn't even know.
Did you feel the pressure because you're in ministry and maybe it's time now to have a family? Did you ever feel that pressure from outside?
Yeah, being a minister, it just puts you on that light where you're like, I just want to get this done. Hopefully I get a good person, you know. So basically that's where I was. Do not trivialize healing. Heal. When you've gone through something, take time to heal. Don't say, Ati, I'll get over this one when I'm with this one. It doesn't work like that. Because, you know, this other person who you are walking the journey with requires you to also be emotionally available and to be mature.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi and I am so happy to get to catch up with my guest today. I always say by the time this platform was starting, you know, I'm looking at us, we are at 1 million plus subscribers, but I sat with my guest today way back even before we thought we would get here. And man, I love catching up with people who gave us an opportunity from the word go. And I love and admire her because man, for me to be able to fall, fail, bounce back, learn, relearn, and learn is so personal. I've said our intention in this show is to be able to show you how you can again learn and relearn, because I believe in life you can do anything. You can do whatever you put your mind into, and sometimes it won't turn out the way you expected it to turn out, but then it doesn't give you a reason to stay there at the bottom and cry and say, you know what, this happened to me, so I shouldn't move on. This is going on in my life, I shouldn't move on. I need you to be able to listen to her story today and see what courage looks like. Many of you know her for her songs. By the way, they don't need any ad. She has such an organic following. Her voice is amazing, and I can't wait for us to be able to learn and relearn from her today. But before I do let her introduce herself, of course, I have to say thank you so much to our incredible partners at Kings Developers Limited. I have loved going through this journey with them. And so if you're looking into owning a home with a very ISO certified company, real estate company, try our people at Kings Developers Limited. Paid a visit to the Apollo Suites hapo Kileleshwa. It's beautiful, but usikue na shock. Not only do they cater to your upper end needs, they have medium range, they have affordable. And if you have any question, their magnificent building is at Prism Towers. Walk there and say Lynn sent us. And also to say thank you so much to you guys watching and to my team for always coming through and making sure that our work gets to reach a lot of people out there. I don't take it for granted. And now, of course, without further ado, please allow me to let my guest today introduce herself. Hey. Sister.
I tell you, hata sio ya vako.
Hey, it's not. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How is your hand?
It's coming along well. But it's still sore, a bit painful. But it's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's
happy,
been a journey.
So happy to see you
happy
once
to see
again
you.
on this show where we started from scratch, but we are here now. God apewe glory yake kabisa. But for anyone that is tuning in right now and they've not heard from you before, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, lovely viewers of LNS Show. I am so excited to be here. It's been a long time. Yes, it's been a very long time since I came here, and I am excited because, as in, I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm home. I don't even feel like a guest. I feel like, let's just talk. It's like how you're talking to your sister and you're just sharing.
Let's do it. Karibu sana.
Thank
tu na kawimbo. Like just sing something, just something for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nakupenda Bwana, neema yako haikomi, siku zote ni mikononi mwako. Toka niamkapo hadi nilalapo, nitaimba wema wa Mungu.
Wow, niendelee. All my life you have been. When do you still say neema yako, even when sometimes do you ever sit and say sijui hata sitaki kuimba, like hata neema, hata what is this? Do you ever feel that as Edith?
It's gotten that. It's gotten there in the past. Certain things happen, and so ideally, this is my position. I've never really come to that point where I'm like, I don't want to sing about the grace of God. It's more about, I don't feel worthy to sing about his grace. So my journey never leads me to a place where I feel like he is unworthy, like I shouldn't give him praise. It's more of, I'm an unworthy vessel, and I'm not up to the standards of giving him the glory he deserves.
Wow. That is so profound.
Yeah.
That you are not worthy of giving him the praise.
Yeah, the glory he deserves, because there's that glory that befits a king. So sometimes you go through a journey, Lynn, and you look at your life and you're like, wait a minute, this God that we know, who is as holy as described, he is as magnificent as described. Am I even, me, this tiny person, this person who has so many mistakes, this person who has made so much errors, am I even really that, am I really worthy, to come? Because the Bible says that we are kings and priests unto our God. So I look at myself and I'm like, really, does my life really validate me to be that person that is described biblically like that?
Okay. I know so many beautiful things have happened since we last caught up.
Yeah.
So many not so beautiful things have also happened.
Yeah.
So maybe from a position you're comfortable in, could you walk us through how have you been so that we can be able to learn and relearn from your story?
Well, a lot of things have happened.
Well,
I don't even know where to begin.
It should be well.
So I don't even know where to begin, Lynn.
I'll let you begin from where you want to begin, because I know there's a part everyone wants.
Where were we?
There's
The last time, where did we leave it?
No, last time, my girl was hooked up, right?
Oh, Lynn.
Last time, that's where we were at.
Yeah.
Last time, my girl was making music.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Last time, my girl was still this strong.
Yeah.
This confident.
Yeah.
This unshaken.
Yeah.
But my girl has also said things have not really been easy for her.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing my girl rebuilding
Yeah.
and everything getting restored.
Yeah.
So I really want you to be comfortable with the pieces that you want to put out there.
Okay. So I don't know, I'm just going to subdivide it probably into my experiences as a person.
Okay.
And then my learnings basically from a human point of view, but then also from a spiritual point of view, being that I'm not only a Christian, but also I'm a mentor in that way. So yes, I was hooked up, like you put it. And I did come with someone the last time, yeah? And well, it was an on and off relationship for about 5 years. But within those 5 years, a lot happened. Like, we would step out of the relationship. At some point, we give up on it. And I'm like, I'm going with somebody else.
Yeah.
And it was, so basically, my journey is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit ishy. But then I'm open to talking about it, because it's these kinds of wounds that actually heal people. So within I think the 3-year period of that relationship, there was a major breakup. Actually, I think around 2 years. So we broke up at around 2 years, and then I stayed for a whole year without really wanting to engage somebody, because of mostly it was just us. I kept on feeling like there were things that would make us a bit incompatible and all that. And then we would argue a lot. I would get angry a lot. And then he would also come and say I had anger issues and all that. And so eventually just decided to kind of step away, stayed for almost a year, basically without really wanting to engage myself in that thing. And then when I did decide to go back into it, like to date again, I said, okay, Lord, now I'm at a place where I feel like I want to try something else. And in that time, I started going out with just a few brothers. Would go out with them. Of course, one of my prerequisites that you have to be a born-again Christian, in that way. So I went out with two gentlemen, and one of them was an accountant, the second one was a lawyer. And I told them, both of them, but surprisingly, it was very unusual because both of them drove the same car.
Yeah.
Like the same type of car.
Yeah.
But I found it really, really strange. But as I continued on to listen to them, kind of also, because incompatibility had been an issue earlier, so I was really trying to find out if this is a thing that can actually work. I decided that I felt more comfortable with the gentleman who was an accountant rather than the lawyer. And we walked a journey together, just a beautiful journey, by the way, very godly journey. He was just a wonderful young man, born again, loving, kind, that kind of thing. But eventually it didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work is because regardless of all these good things, there was a very small, big weakness. You hear what I say? It's small, but it's big. Yes. So when I first came into his life, I realized that he was very close to his mother. And for me, that was a wonderful thing, because I can never ever go out with a person who treats his mother like trash. Because the same way you're treating your mother is the same way eventually you're going to end up treating me as a wife. I mean, it seems that, for me, it proves that you don't regard women, And so when he loved his mother, for me, it felt very safe. Beautiful. Yeah, I felt safe. And but as we moved along, I realized I was just more than, loving you, whatever. It was just like there was a lot that was influenced from that particular direction. But and I struggled for a little bit because, Lynn, I've never really spoken about it in this way. And I don't even know whether this is the best place to talk about it. But when I first met her, we met when it was me and him and the gentleman in a restaurant. And I was so excited. I was like, hi, it's nice to meet you, Mom. And she told me, Edith, I just want to tell you this, openly, so that you are aware, I don't believe in marriage. And she's a single mother, but I didn't see that coming. So she was like, I don't believe in marriage and I don't like marriage. But I do like married people and encourage people to get married. And I was like, what
does that even mean?
What was that? Yeah. So when I left that meeting, I continued to smile. Because when you're with a woman who, number one, you respect her because of her age. She's like the age of my mom. But then also, you're trying to pursue something that would lead her to her becoming your almost biological mom. Yes. And you want her to become your mom in love, not just in law, not just in paper, So I did smile. Yeah. But when I left that meeting, I was like, what was that? I couldn't understand it. And so that left some ish right there. And then after that, we went through another season where there was a bit of insecurity, especially from the gentleman. Me being a public figure, I relate with people I'm very friendly. That's how we network, Lynn. Yes. You have to smile to people. You have to sometimes, go out with people and all that. And while in this journey, it happens that he couldn't get over one particular man of God who showed a very high interest in me at that time. And I was like, okay, do you know how many people write to me telling me that they would actually want to pursue something with me? You just have to be confident. You have to be that kind of person who you are gentle, yes, you are meek, yes, but then you're confident. You're confident in yourself. You're confident that, we chose this for a reason. And that kind of insecurity is what spiraled into, after 9 months, that's what led to the breakup. But it broke me. It broke me to that point where I just felt like, what just happened? That was a good man. That was a Christian man. He was so godly that he would handle me such. He would just take care of me. He would, and I just felt like, what just happened? And within that time period, so guess what? Now the devil. This way. Enyewe acha nimwekele hata akisema dude nimefanya acha tu nimwekele because he is the source of all bad things anyway. But I'm not calling any person a devil or whatever, but I'm just saying that there are some things you look into your life and you think this wasn't godly. And if it wasn't godly and there's no vacuum, then there must have been a force that was in operation. So during that time
wait. If it wasn't godly, and there's no vacuum, then there must have been
it's the it's the devil by default. People are like,
yes,
I'm not in God, but I'm not in the devil. I'm just there. If God isn't in it, there's no vacuum.
Period.
So during that time when there was that breakup, I was very hurt because especially sasa hapa ndio shida ilikujia. The gentleman who had been going out with was the person who we used to do ministry with almost everywhere. He was not only my friend, but he was also like my partner in ministry. So what happened is that I hadn't even thought of buying a car. I would invest in other projects. Like I decided to build a large scale pig business. So I just built up that thing, and that's because I was sorted in that side. So now when we broke up, there was a big gap. I'm used to the convenience, and I don't have the money to buy a car. But there's a place Lynn business gets even right now, where a car is not a luxury.
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity. One time you're needed in Nyeri na asubuhi ukwe Nairobi, and then somewhere at 11 the next day ukwe Kirugoya. It's crazy. Sometimes it gets really, really crazy. So during that time when we actually left that relationship, guess what? The lawyer texts. So he's like, hi, ulisema hata hatuwezi kuwa mabeshte blah 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 da da da. And I was like, no, sina ubaya, and I'm easy. So he's like, okay, in as much as maybe you don't want to let me into your life in another dimension, whatever, why don't you just let me be your friend in ministry, take you to ministry sometime. Happens that I just had a ministry to Narok that I was trying to figure out how do I go.
And he's right here.
And he's like, I can take you to ministry. Like, oh God, you are good. Now I'm seeing the devil. But like, oh Lord, you are good.
Yes.
And so we decide. Lynn, why are you laughing?
No, exit. Okay. No, enter. No, I'm just saying.
Yes. No. This wasn't a relationship.
Yes. No, I'm saying.
This was just,
exit accountant.
Yes.
Enter
lawyer.
As a friend.
Yeah, but then it wasn't a relationship. He just said, I'd like to be there for you as a friend in ministry. I needed somebody to just take me to Narok. So what I did when he said that, I thought about it and I said, okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring somebody else into that. So I brought in my friend, my best friend, a girl, into that. And then now we traveled as the three of us, just to create an environment where this is strictly fraternal. Yeah. Right? So, so we went to Narok and we ministered. It was powerful. Nobody tried anything. It was just ministry, come back, sleep, and all that. So on the way back, so he was driving. I was in the passenger seat, and there's my girl, who is at the back, and he asks me, Edith, can I ask you for a favor? I'm like, oh. So I'm like, depends. And he tells me, can I go say hi to your mom? I'm like, So he's like, yeah, can I just go say hi to your mom? And I'm like, Okay, but then you just took me to Narok all the way.
And you touched a soft spot.
And I was like, okay. It was that okay where it's not really like, okay, it's just like, you know, I'm feeling bad for saying no because he just took me to Narok and he asked me for fuel and was with me there minister like the whole weekend. It's like, okay, fine. And I said, we need to drop off my friend at her workplace. So we dropped her off and I said, oh, so we're going to see mom. So she's like, okay. And so we went and we saw my mom. And my mom was she's just a friendly person. She's kind. So when she sees my friends, she was always cook for them. So there's my mom in the kitchen cooking for us breakfast. So it was morning because we came up very early morning. And he already has like his own farm. So he called the secretary and it's like, just handle for me ABC. I'm going to be having this. And most of the things nowadays in court is online. So really you can pretty much be able to handle it. So he had some people take it up and, you know, this time I'm like, okay, was this guy like even canceling like his court sessions for me? Doesn't make any sense.
Important.
Right? Yeah. And I'm coming from a place where it was bad because in the past relationship, not only did we part ways, but it ended very badly because that gentleman who had been like my friend and like he'd been my best friend for the time when I was with him, he left me in Ruaka. You know, for those who do not know Ruaka, it's a very interesting place. But in Ruaka, at 9:43, and it was time ya curfew. We're talking about 2021. Yes. So kulikuwa na curfew. So I have 17 minutes
ufike home.
To nini. Na kuna kabina chukua.
Akakwambia ujipange.
Aliniambia ati look for a way to go home or go to your uncle's, whatever. So in as much as he called me much later, so at that time everybody was in danger because you can't leave because there's curfew. So I had to call a friend of mine from the government to come and pick me up. Yeah, because it's those people, the government officials, ndio wanaweza kuwa na hiyo nini. Yeah, so I just had to start to use a connection. And so we go see my mom, nothing much. And then after that, after we are talking, so right there we are talking, and it's like, Edith, yani ulisema hawezi tu nipe opportunity. And I was like, I'm not ready. And so here's the thing, people need to learn something. So at that time, I was rearing some chicken and they were a bit sick. And a vet had just come and said that they needed some drug that was very rare and also very expensive. So he offered to drive me to the place where we're going to pick it up on his way home. So I go pick it up and then he goes home. So me, I come back on my own. So when we went there, we were told, now this drug is never stocked like on shelf. It has to be taken from our stores, and the stores were in like Mombasa Road. So you guys have to wait for like an hour and a half before you can get the drug. So we had time to now just sit in the car and just talk. So it was in that time, it was like, Edith, you had never, ever, ever you've never spoken to me ever since you decided that I was the other guy, because I was very upfront. I'm very transparent person. So even when I was seeing him, I told him, you're not the only person who I'm going out with. I don't like leading people on. I don't think it's fair. So I told him, I'm not going out with you only, and I have a decision to make, and whoever it is, I'll tell you. So when I told him, he was very mad. As he was just really mad, like, why not me? I'm not, I'm not, you know, those egos. And I was like, no, it's nothing personal. It's just where I feel more like at home. Okay, respect your decision. So right now he's telling me, why is it after all this time, when I spoke to you, actually responded, and you never respond, you always blue tick me or whatever. So I told him, no, it's not that I used to blue tick you as in like, you know, it's just that I felt like I needed to concentrate on what I was doing and you would be a distraction. And then he told me, so why did you decide to talk to me? And I said, no, I'm just in a place where I'm trying to transition into something, because we actually broke up. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. No, he was not. But he's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, but wait, why did you break up with him? you know, even though nothing ever happens between us, you have a friend in me. Edith.
Your take.
Verbal diarrhea. It's like, you know, since we broke up with this guy, I'd never gotten a place. But then, you know, it happened almost immediately. I'd not had a place where I could go cry. But the crying is really important. Like I'd even like, if I'd even sat with my friend and just cried and talked, I would never have even spoken to him. I'd be like, I'm okay, I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
At that point, I had not, because I'm also very confidential. Before I can speak about something, it takes a while. So verbal diarrhea.
Yeah. Your take.
Kumbe, I'm being lawyered. Kumbe, this guy's like, he did what? Oh, okay. I'll do opposite. He did what again? Oh, all right. so I'm being lawyered. I don't know that all these things is happening. So after that, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, the drug has come. Let's go pick it up. Let me drop you home. And then, so he drops my home and goes. And Lynn, I do not know how I got into a relationship with that guy. I really do not know, because most of every person who had been in a relationship with, I can tell you, it began here.
And it ended here.
We progressed like this, and this is where it got. So yeah, so by the time I know it, I'm in a relationship with him, I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I don't even know. All of a sudden, he's calling me, you know, those pet names that people call it, like each other. And then, I'm this kind of person who, I might go with the flow, and I don't even know why. I mean, I'm different now, because right now, if you call me, because these jamas who are they're like in a habit of calling you Han in WhatsApp. I'm like, I'm not Han. Change your name. I'm Edith. Yeah, don't call me, hi babe. I'm not that. I'm Edith. Address me by my name. So that's where, so that he started petting me. You see, it's through my journey that I've learned, don't pet me. Yes. I don't need to be petted. I'll be petted by my husband, whatever. But yeah, so I found myself him using pet names, and like, well, but then no breaking any law. I mean, just broke up with like another person, right? And I'm like, I'm not ready. I was feeling like I'm not ready, because I just got hurt. But then this person is acting all like it's all my business now. Yeah. So eventually, I did end up having a relationship with him, which did not last. Because when I met this person, I know him to be like a preacher boy. Well, he's a young man, but then I'd gone to places where he preaches and all that. Then all of a sudden, now that I'm in his inner circle, I hear him say something like, that's a lie. That's a lie. You just lied.
He's lying in front of you.
And I'm
confident.
Like, that's a lie, but I cannot speak. You know, in your relationship with somebody, now you just need to cover them, and then you tell them in private, by the way, never lie in my face again. I hate lies. You know. Now, that's not even where it ended. Emails started coming in. Hi, Edith. I don't know how you started dating that man, how they knew that I actually had a friendship with him, because I don't even know what I had with that. It felt confused. I mean, with the other person, I'm able to describe, but this one just felt like a whirlwind. And said, I don't know what you're doing with that person, but he's not what you think he is. I'm like, what? And people started talking. So my email is full of that. So every day I'd wake up to something and I'd be like, huh. And initially, can you imagine? I think I was just so naive that every single time I'd be told something like that, I'd show him. Imagine there's somebody writing to me.
This is what they're saying about you.
And then he'd take their emails and write to them and say, why are you blackmailing my girlfriend? So eventually, as I was praying and I'm telling God, why is all these things happening like this? He told me, Edith, listen, open your eyes and see. So it was the first time that I took time to not defend him, but to actually listen and observe. So I started observing for myself. And I that's now how when I was able to hear the lies. I wasn't able to hear them before, probably because I wasn't paying that much attention. Yeah, and all that. So eventually I started hearing the lies and all that. And so something else I think strange happened in my journey, Lynn. And obviously I've never spoken about actually all these things, I've never spoken about them. But sometimes I feel like it's important you get to a place and you talk about them, because mostly I'm targeting the young ministers, the young girls who want to get into ministry. I've been through a journey where if they can just listen to me, they would be able to avoid some of this. Some of these people are to be avoided, whether they are girls or whether they are men. Just avoid them. Now, there's this thing where Lina's in a situationship. I kid you not. So when I started dating this guy, we've been dating 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So he comes to pick me up from a photo shoot, right? And he's like, hi, I just wanted us to have to go to a place and take some nyama choma. I'm like, okay. Nyama choma sounds nice, right? And we go. All of a sudden, he calls. He's like, hi, is the nyama choma ready? He's like, oh, no, it's not ready, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Something is nyama choma. Kumbe, these guys have planned with my friends. He's in 2 weeks, Lynn. He's already identified my friends. I don't even know how I don't know. And I don't even know why I did not stop to question some of these things. And when I get there, he has prepared for me like a surprise birthday party. So I'm like, oh my God, nobody has ever done that for me. So it's really sweet, right? And then after that, in the car, he tells me, Edith, if I propose to you, what would you say? I'm like, dude, I don't know you. I don't know you like that. I don't even like you like that. Like, yeah, we're in a relationship, but it's 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? Was it 2 or 3 weeks? No, it's 2 or 3. I think 2 or 3 weeks. But does it matter? 2 or 3 weeks is just a couple of days.
It's under a month.
Let's just say 2.5 weeks.
Okay, average.
Yeah. And he's like, what if I propose to you? And I'm like, dude, I don't know you like that. And then he's like, no, you know. Like if I propose to you, I wouldn't like be forcing marriage on you. It's just that I've gotten my heart broken in the past. And I feel like I would want this time my relationship to grow within the confines of an engagement. I'm being lawyered. Lina was lawyered. That's all I can say. I was lawyered. This person knows language, knows like legal, stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, still, no. So I go to the birthday. And he has invited like literally every person I know. And that's because my circle is small. My circle is really small. So he's not only invited my friends, he's invited my mentees, people I mentor. So that's like my child, right? And then after that, the birthday, so it's fun. And then as I'm cutting the nini,
Cake.
Yeah. So the nini is singing the saxophone and all that. It's just fun. And then after that, as I'm cutting, when I'm turning back, he's on one knee. He's like, will you? I'm like, dude, stop.
Why do I have?
Yeah.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Ako.
And then after that, there's a saxophone. Da, 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 da. Guess what? All eyes on me. My mentees. People I work with. Like, dude, stand up. No, I meant what I said. So, a series of mistakes began.
You said yes.
This is what I said, Lynn. I said, I don't want, in case this is the man who's going to marry me, right? I don't want him to forever be an object of scorn amongst my friends. So I said, let me say yes on the camera, on the nini, and then nyuma ya tent, I go and tell him, dude, that was wrong. You know how you don't tell like your person, like you don't shout at them in public. So that's how I was reasoning. I did, Lynn. I knew this guy for 2 weeks.
Me, I will run. No, 2 weeks, no. Even 2 years if it ain't it, no.
I know.
Kwani alini consult.
I know.
So
you
ukasema, yeah.
No, I said, it's not like I was saying
no,
yes.
but you see the interpretation to the people
To
around,
the people.
it's yes.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to, in case this is the person who's going to marry me.
So naona hapo ndio nasemanga maturity kwa relationship si lazima kila saa.
Lynn, wacha nichukue coffee.
Yes. Sasa
because
then mkaenda nyuma ya tent.
I think you need to understand like where this comes from. This is coming from a place where I'm like, what if this person is the person I say I do to?
He will forever live with this.
If I was to embarrass him in that manner, would it ever recover?
But how about you asked me in a car before whether if you asked me to marry
but
you
he
right
had.
now, I would say.
But he had. So what he did.
See, in the car you had said no.
Yeah, I'd said no.
Why?
And then he told me. So what he said is that he had gotten hurt in the past, and he would want the relationship to grow within the confines. Or within the confines of an engagement, right?
Yes.
And I didn't say anything to that.
Yeah.
I just kept quiet because I assumed like, dude, you know my stand, right?
Albert. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you say.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's not like I wanted to say yes. If it was the two of us, I would have said no.
But you don't want to shame him like that.
I don't want to shame him like that, just in case. But right now, owing to the journey I've gone through, I would say no and walk out.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think I've learned. But at that point, I just want you to understand how I was reasoning.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I said yes. And then after that, so the problem was, after I said yes, like 2 weeks after that, the gentleman who had left me in Ruaka, he tried to get back with me, yes.
I did.
But now, this time, I decided, see, of course, I had already moved on.
And you're engaged?
No, I'd already moved on.
No. See, the accountant...
See, he didn't know. It was just a short period of time.
Yeah, but the accountant doesn't know you moved on with the lawyer.
No,
but the lawyer has asked you to marry him.
Yeah.
So, before we go to the accountant,
yeah.
What conversation did you have with the lawyer about the engagement?
No, I told him. I told him I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
I never worried.
Okay.
In fact, I told him, please take your ring. Kama ninaitwa nini? I'm not that nini. No. But what I did though, I did tell him that I was not ready for that. Yeah.
All right.
So that one, and in as much as, but you see, it was still, I continued like, I did a lot of mistakes, Lynn. Yeah, and that's what I own up to. And basically one of them was just saying yes. Leave alone every other thing. I mean, just having a friendship with someone is fine. Exploring is fine. Just take your time. But just that, yes, that's...
And now everyone knows Edith has said yes. She's about to.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why, had I been the same person I am today, I would have simply just said, yeah, and walked out. Because right now, I don't care about your shame. Yeah, if you do something stupid, it's gonna blow on your face. Just because by the time we get there, it needs to be mutual. Yeah. And I allowed a person to do that for me. And now, this is why I said, so now we go back. So now that gentleman, why I brought up that gentleman was because I told you that gentleman was a good man, right? And there was issues and there was a fight. But then by the time, like, you know, like he was coming back to his senses, like, wait, I don't think I'm ready to lose this girl. By the time now he's coming back, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. And I didn't tell him why. Yeah, because even for me, it was weird. It was strange. So it was like, no, I can't go back into that. And it's like, I'm sorry. I know I did a mistake. And I'm like,
Not it.
Too late. Because also there was this other person, and I kept on feeling like, I think one of the biggest mistakes I did, Lynn, was just to take care of other people. Yeah. And being a minister, I don't want to hurt them.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that not wanting to hurt, because you see, being a minister, I take care of people. People reach out to me when they're hurt. I reach out to them, we speak. I tell them, you need to do this and this. And yeah, so basically just that, loving people, being compassionate. So somebody would do something stupid like that, and rather than doing what I should do for myself, I would look at them and I say, no, I don't want him to be embarrassed.
Okay,
I don't want him to be hurt. And I'll be taking care of people instead of taking care of me as well. You know.
So he exited?
Yeah, he did, and very hurt. Very, very hurt. Obviously because he felt like he should have been given a second chance, and maybe he would have been, but then it was under very complicated circumstances that I had put myself in. Yeah.
Before I cut you off, you had said now the accountant had come back. Yeah.
No, he tried to.
He tried to. You also said no.
No, you know, it's just Ilea after like 1 month, because after 2 is like after almost 2 months, and then he came back and he said, I've seen my mistake. I know what I did wrong. And I know what I need to change. And I think I'm ready to come back and just give this a second chance. Yeah. So he was just being genuine, and I felt him. I actually did, and I felt like, yeah, if things had not been the way they were, then I probably would have given him an opportunity to. Yeah.
How did that affect you?
It did. It really did, especially because after starting to work with this other person, I started seeing lies. I started seeing the emails. And the emails, what they would say were bad things. Like, Edith, this person, for all I know, has been intimate with 50 people within the campus when he was still studying law. And then there'd be ladies who would be saying, like, he got me pregnant, I had to abort, because knowing him, there was nowhere that was going. Edith, this guy, he broke, you know, he did all that. And I have emails to that effect. So basically, they were insinuating at a certain thing, but I decided not to kind of, you know, make conclusions and all that, but they did affect me, Lynn, because I came from a person who was genuine, good, no drama, you know, and then even before then, I'd never had any drama. So I was like, where is all this drama coming from? It's just too much. Yeah. And within a short time, Lynn, I was with this person, this lawyer person, for 1 month. Yeah. And then, so that was between June and now to around July.
Yeah.
So in July, I decide to break it off. But then there are just so many things I need to work out because there's a lot of complications that came as a result to that relationship. And by the time I actually ended up breaking off with him, it was around August, early August, I think the first week of August. So basically it had extended to like 2 months now. So by 2 months now, I said, I'm done. And I walked off. So by the time when I was walking off, so now this is where narcissism comes in. So this is where I'd never dated a narcissistic man. So I didn't know what it felt like, or, you know, but basically when I was parting ways with him, I mean, he was very angry. And at some point he insinuated something like, if I can't have you, nobody will. Yeah. And at some point I actually felt like my life was in danger. Yeah. Because like there are times when I had gone to ministry in like Mwiki, and then on the pulpit, after I'm done ministering, he comes and he starts kneeling in public. Edith, I'm sorry, no matter what I did, da, 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 da. And my team had to surround me, like security, surround me,
Yeah.
take me to the car and then lock it up. And then now talk to him. Because now it wasn't like yet a legal case, like, please don't do this. This is harassment.
Did you ever take a restraining order?
No.
Do you wish you had?
I don't know, because it never really got that far.
Mm-hmm.
But I did at some point feel that threatened. And what he tried to do, Lynn, is when he realized that, because there were even times when we'd be driving, like on that day when we'd come from Wiki, so we were driving from Wiki and we are on Thika Road, and suddenly when we are looking behind, he's here. He's like tailblazing us. And I don't know if that's coincidence, but in my heart, I'm like, I don't know whether I should trust this. Yeah.
But you are in ministry and people expect Edith to be something different, you know. You should know how to date, you should know who to date, you should know where to date, because the accountant and the lawyer, you're saying these are men of God, right? But for you as a woman, did you feel the pressure because you're in ministry and maybe it's time now to have a family? Did you ever feel that pressure from outside?
Yeah, because even when, like with this gentleman, I remember even when I was telling him, look, at that time when I was with him, like, you know what, dude, I'm almost turning 30. And by the time I turn there, I just feel like there's also the societal pressure, not from anybody within. In fact, nobody in my inner circles, including my mom, Nini, has ever talked to me about that. But I think the societal pressure just comes from what is happening. And then also there was a time when I went to like minister at a full gospel church in Nyahururu, and the bishop tells me, Edith, we really love your ministry, but once you're married, just reach out to us, we'll do serious ministry. Yeah. And there's that perception of like a married minister is more stable, is more relatable, can do more things and that kind of thing. So obviously being a minister, it just puts you on that light where you're like, I just want to get this done. Hopefully I get a good person, you know. So basically that's where I was. But right now, I'm really like, all my antenna is alert. Yeah. So basically when that happened, after that phase, then came the next phase when he wrote to every person he knew in media to try and defame me. Yeah. And he would mix the lies with the truth and just make something that, and for godly reasons, because I believe that God was preserving me at that point, because it was not yet time for me to speak about it openly like I can do right now. Right now, I'm speaking about it in the past. It's something that happened to me. And so right now, I'm speaking about it informationally. I'm speaking about it after healing from it. So now I can actually be able to tell, young people, this is what you avoid. This is how, even if I was to do, once I'm married, by God's grace in the future, I believe now I have gone through a journey where I can tell people these are the signs you need to look for. And if you see a person who is reacting like this, it doesn't matter whether they are speaking in tongues, they are binding demons and all that. And so I found myself in a position where this person is trying to defame me. This person is writing me text messages that have a bit of a, he's a lawyer, so he's very careful about everything that he says. So he can't like incriminate himself. But sometimes he just tells you something, especially verbally, and then there's an intonation of like insecurity, I'm not safe and all that. So that is where now the person who I was supposed to marry now came in. The young man now who had dated for years.
Yes.
The one who I knew, he came back. And when he came back, he didn't come from a place of let's date, no.
The one I met?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that was the one now before the lawyer and the
he had been
accountant.
there before for long. Yeah, because I think we had been at 2 or 3 years. Yeah, so that's where now he came back. But he came back only because, like I told you, my circle is small, and I felt threatened. And I'm an only child. And I come from a family where, I think I spoke about my story last time. So I come from a place where my family has rejected me in the past. And so me and my family are not close like that. Like we are close, but there's always that part where you're like, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
And so I just needed somebody who I could just talk about openly and tell them I feel threatened. And because even after breaking up, we had remained friends and we had spoken for a long time. So we were just like unlikely friends. Now I know better than to have my ex as a friend. But then at that point, he was just my friend. And so I told him, somebody is threatening my life. And I think I'm in danger. And I think I need somebody who I can speak about this with, because I don't even know where to go from here. There's a lot of blur lines about how to even take action about this legally. And being that he's also a lawyer, he was very careful in concealing everything that would be incriminating, anything that would look bad against him. And so he had managed to put up a facade like he was the victim.
Yeah.
He had victimized himself. And so even the story that he would, relate to these bloggers and all this, people writing these stories were like, I'm the victim. She did this to me and all that. It was he was victimizing himself without really speaking the truth. Yeah. And the truth was that I was engaged within 2 weeks, and after working with him for a journey of another 1 month, I discovered he was not the person who had probably imagined him to be, based on the ministry I had seen and all that. And I decided to step aside, and now he was making a fuss about it.
Saying you had cancelled the...
Yeah, because when, there was nothing I cancelled. The only thing was that there was a date. They had set up a date for them to come with his family for the introductions and all that. And I told him, don't, because I'm no longer. So imagine he continued after I told him, and these are some of the traits that I feel were a bit narcissistic, because I told him don't, and then he continued making the preparations. Yeah, and I've told him don't. You know very well we're no longer together. So why are you still continuing to plan for this? And he would still continue to plan for it, and then come back and say, oh, she made me waste money. Oh, I told you don't. It was very, very clear. In fact, I think it's on message, that one. Yeah. And so, and then, I was feeling a bit threatened, because there were some things that he said. He would say verbally, like, I would drag you into every court in this country. If you dared, I would drag. And he's a lawyer. So sometimes you feel like, okay, do I even have the financial capacity
to fight this
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe then I'll be drained in court systems. And so that was one of the reasons why, through everything that I went through, I kept quiet. Yeah. And it was torturous. He tormented me for some months, because all this came to end in around... No, I think it was 1 month, because it ended around September, thereabout. That's when I called him in the presence of a woman of God in the country, and then also somebody who mentors him, a business lady. Of course, I'm not going to mention any names, but just somebody who is the who and who in this city, and is a mentor to him. And I went first and foremost, and I saw her. And I told her everything that had been happening, and I told her that I need to break this off. And because I break up with him and he keeps on saying it's not, we're broken up, and he continues to make plans like this did not happen, I just want to make it very clear to him that this is where I stand. And so for that to happen, I need you to be there.
Yeah.
Because you're not only, you are a giant business-wise, and you are a person he honors and respects, and I feel that you need to be there. Yeah.
And he let it go.
Well, when he first came, on that meeting, this is what he says. He says, Edith, why are you doing this to me? Do you know how many girls I've slept with to try and get over you? And I still can't. And I'm like, first and foremost, what? Now the emails make sense. And at that point, I'm like, I'm just here to give back your ring, because he had given me 2 rings, the one that he proposed with and a gold one. And being the lawyer he is, I never wanted him to come after me and
ask for his things,
and maybe probably pursue me for financial liability for me. So I just told him in the presence of, so that he could hear your rings. This is the gold one, please inspect it. This is the other one. Everything he gave me, every gift he ever gave me, I put it in one place and I gave him. And I told him, please Just make sure everything is there. But of course he was too mad, and he was like, what do you want me to do with this? And I just told him, I don't know. I just did this in respect, just to let you know. Like I'm at that place where I don't know what to do with you anymore, and so I just did this for you to understand. And this is really over. Yeah. And that was what led up to a lot of things that actually happened in my life, because now the gentleman who came into my life, he came as my friend.
Yeah.
And there was a lot happening, Lynn. Some I cannot even be able to like speak them on camera. And yeah, we were able to, you know, he was also there. Like when I needed to cry, I would cry on his shoulder, and a lady friend of mine. So we'd be just together. There's many nights when we've just spent, 3 of us, the friend who had gone with. So there's many nights where I'd just cry, and I tell them, guys, I feel like, what did I do? What is this? Yeah. So that happened all the way until I think around December of the same year. So that time, after this phase was over, and now the clouds have cleared, and now we can breathe again. And now I just want to step out and now breathe and find myself again. And it was during that time when my mom told me, so during this time, this guy, for some reason, now being close to him again, has rekindled a lot of the emotions he had, but I'm not there yet. Because me, I've been going through turmoils. Me, I've not even been like involved that way. Me, I've just been crying my heart out. And then it was during that time that my mom tells me, wait a minute, this guy has fought for you like that. As in like all the things he has done, and you want to let him go. I was like, Mommy, I just feel like even if it's the one, I need to give myself a chance. And my mom was like, they are very rare good men, like good men, honest men. And I decided, okay, because I was with a bad one. Just come from a bad one, really bad one, who tried everything he could to just destroy my brand, because my brand is everything. It carries the ministry with it. It carries also the music with it. It carries the business with it, everything. And so, yeah, I decided to give him a chance. And this time, this was a familiar person. Yeah, this was a person who I knew him. I knew his weaknesses, I knew his strengths, I knew his everything. Before. But the reasons why we had broken up were still reasons. Yeah, because there were reasons that we'd broken up, especially the anger. He said I had a lot of anger and all that, and said, okay, maybe I can work on myself this time around, and all that. But Lynn, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have, because I should have given myself the opportunity to be whole before I can look for somebody to try and make me whole like that. Because nobody can complete you. You have to be a complete person, and you have to allow yourself to be complete. And if there's any halves in your life, then you have to allow yourself to go through the healing journey. And so immediately we got in, he told me, you know what, I know you. I know all about you. I know what I like about you. I know what I do not like about you. And I know that you're the woman I would want to marry. So by May of the next year now, which was 22, he proposed. So now this was the second proposal. Okay, the first one was weird.
Yes.
Like really, really strange.
We've all agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. But this one felt like home. It felt like, I know this person. I know he has weaknesses. But maybe we can work around them, because I don't think you can find a perfect person. That's how I started it. But within that journey, a lot happened, and I find myself in a place where, so we went through the engagement. Yes, we did get engaged. His family came to our place. Then after that, we had a ratio, and everything looked like everything is good. Yeah. And I mean, we had our own issues. Don't get me wrong. It's not like everything was like roses and perfect and all that. But I felt like, especially what I used to, and that's why you need to heal. Yeah, that's why you need to heal, because what affected me was the fact that I kept comparing him to the previous person. And so to me, it felt like a saint. That's why you need to take time to heal so that your coordinates are 0, 0, 0. If it's something you cannot stand, then you're able to see it very early. If it's something that you can be able to stand, you're able to see it. But when you've come from a hurtful relationship and you don't take time to heal, then a lesser evil will look like a good thing to you. And I'm not trying to say like he's evil, but it's just a statement. Yeah. And so I undermined just how much, what had made us break up, how much it was, if it had the capacity to break us up once before, then it did have the capacity to break us again. And so once I had gotten over the previous relationship, and I felt like now I'd started to heal. I'm gonna tell you why. Put that in quotes. I started feeling like, okay, so now I'm starting to see things clearly. And one of the things that I can promise you, it had nothing to do with the both of us. I think mostly families. Yeah, our families. I think they were incompatible. Yeah. And the more we tried, so what happened is that his family and my family just never got along, and we downplayed that because we were like, it's us getting married.
Not them.
Yeah, it's us getting married. But then at some point, it got to that place where every person had to choose, and every person chose their own families. It was bad. Of course, I cannot give the circumstances surrounding that. Right. But then, that. But then there was just that place where we got to a place and we needed to decide. And everybody chose their own families. Like, you know what? I love my mother, and she is the one who gave birth to me, and I love her, and I want to do right by her. And I also love my mother, and this is it. And the unfortunate thing, Lynn, is not as cordial as I'm trying to put it right now. Yeah. And the reason why was because when we decided we're going to get married, we started going for counseling, premarital counseling. One of the reasons why we had to go through that counseling by a good reverend, a man of God, who is in an ACK church on Langata Road. And so when we started to see him, I told him, when we started seeing him, I told him, I'm hurt. And I don't think I'm at that place where like I can make, same decisions. So I feel like while we prepare for the marriage, I need to heal. And so he asked me why. And I said, because I feel like I made so many mistakes. Yeah. And the reason why I felt that was because, Lynn, in 1 year, it felt like every virtue I had worked for, the enemy had destroyed it. And he kept reminding me, you accepted a proposal after 2 weeks. Of course, I was being stupid. Just being stupid. I can never do that again. But yeah, I just felt like, and that's why when you started, you asked me a question. And you asked me, have you ever got to a place and you just felt like you didn't want to sing about the goodness of God? And I said, if I ever got to that place, it was not because I didn't feel like God was good. I just felt like I wasn't good enough to tell him he was good. Yeah. And so, I don't know where these tears came from. Gosh, somebody just slapped me or something. I need to wake up. It's not that I'm hurt. I've been working towards healing, which is probably why I took myself a little bit aside. But I've learned a lot. And I've always been the kind of person who I would deal with relationships like a ministry. And now I know better. Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I'd just be loving to people. I'd give myself to people. And then I just met a person. It was just one person who just took advantage of that. And I feel like if it never come, all these other things would not have come. Because every other thing now was It was sequential. This led to this, And so...
What does knowing better look like? How does it look like?
It looks like, number one, if you're not ready for something, like that time when he said, will you marry me at 2 weeks? I should have said no. Period. Yeah.
Because then it's compounding. You are compiling so many things together.
Yeah.
By the time you want out,
Yeah.
and then you look at all the things that you are...
Right. So now by the time I realized this is a person who is like this, and it didn't take long.
Have you ever met someone, you spend years with them, say for example 5 or 6 years together with someone, and then you look back after the relationship has ended, and you knew for a fact you should have walked out of that relationship week 1. Week 1, something was already telling you this is not it, this is not it, this is not it.
I think even the gentleman that we were almost getting married with, the issues that ended up, breaking us up were pretty much prevalent from day 1. I could see slight indications of them, but then I kept pushing them aside, and let me tell you how, right? So that it doesn't look like I'm just speaking from a place of malice, because I'm not. I think I've just forgiven. I'm a loving person, Lynn. In me, there's no place for hate. Irregardless of what you did, irregardless of what you do to me, I don't have space for hate. I'm a Christian, first and foremost, and I'm a genuine Christian. And so being a Christian, I cannot allow hate into my life. I have to forgive, learn from it, and then now move on. Yeah. And just heal also. But yes, and one of the reasons why was because, number one, I used to ask him, what's your financial status like? And that to me is a very simple question.
Tuko na pesa ama tuna?
Hivyo tu. Like, I'm getting there, I'm financially stable, or I'm nini. And the answer I used to get for almost the 5 years I was with him, because there was this 9 months and probably the 2 months, but pretty much almost the rest of the 5 years, we were together. The answer I would always get was, you don't worry, I'll take care of it. Yeah. And then, so the financial status was always blur. It was always like, I got this, but never like, I got this like this.
Yeah, and I feel like that's an area people assume. People are just so into, I love you.
Yeah. But like if you see a man with money, well, he might be conning people, he might be a thief. So let him know, how did you get this wealth? Yeah, I mean, not day one, it's going to look weird. But as you draw closer to him, just find a nice way of asking him, by the way, what job do you do? Just make sure you really understand the person that you're with. And I feel like I did not understand him. I'm not saying he's a bad person. He's actually a really good person. But I feel like I didn't understand him. And that not understanding him much later came to bite me. Yeah. Because when we were almost getting married, I asked him, I told the Reverend actually, who was doing like premarital counseling, and I said, Rev, would you please help me ask a question here? Where are we going to live after we get married? And I discovered he wanted us to get married and live at his home compound, which was a house that was supposed to be temporary for boys when they probably like have gone through maturity and all that. And so I didn't feel, in as much as it's a big home, it's like a big house, it's like 2-bedroom. Yeah. And then also there was the issue of the family being too well off, more than probably us, and I didn't think that was an issue. Personally, it's not. Even if I found somebody whose family is way, below me, that wouldn't be an issue. This person who you're spending, you want to spend your life with, and that eventually became a big issue. Yeah, it came back to bite me. Not because of the status, no, but because of just some things that you would seem like, okay, where did that come from? And I should have questioned. Yeah, so I think my whole journey is a personal mistake of one, making decisions probably without taking time to heal, think about them, Secondly, looking at, taking care of other people more than I take care of myself, or even I didn't take care of myself at all. And then there was also the issue of probably just doing things too quickly. Yeah, I should have put a pause on some things. Probably even if I wouldn't have gotten back with, like, even the first gentleman who we started this journey with in this story, I would still have gone through a journey where I would have known better, But overall, I don't regret, Lynn. That's the funny thing. I don't regret my journey. Yeah, it's made me into the person I am today. And if I hadn't gone through that, then I wouldn't be the person I am today. Yeah, and it's done me a lot of good because it opened me up, in as much as left me broke at some point for a season. Because I had to stay in the house for quite some months to take in a lot of things, and then also to go through a certain journey. And so, yeah, I just... And eventually, so I was about to tell you, the funny thing about how we broke up was, you see, when we started the journey for heading to marriage, we were told by the Reverend, like, you guys are going to have so many people hurting you and so many people trying to split you apart. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to forgive before you are hurt. So I want you to carry so many grace cards that any person that hurts you, you're able to forgive them easily. I want you to prepare for that. I want you to prepare that the journey towards a wedding, because the wedding is not marriage. Marriage is what you guys built. But as you head towards the wedding, you're going to get hurt. And things are going to get real. But I want you to prepare yourself that if someone hurts you, then you can actually forgive them. So when all these things were happening, Lynn, I was expecting that there was going to be a discussion around it, especially because it came from a lie. A lie where it was insinuated that my mother had spoken badly about the in-laws to be, which was never the case. And all I asked the man, when I wrote him a message, I said, don't believe me, but don't believe them either. Bring everybody to the table. The ones who say this was done, the accused, and the people who this was said about. Don't believe me, and don't believe them either. If you are a true judge, then bring it to the table. The person who says this was done, like my mom spoke like this, and there was a lot of bad accusations, including the fact that I took the wedding cards and threw them in the air and all that. Something I could never even do, Lynn. I'd even put like the wedding card somewhere. I'm talking about, it was what? It was less than a month to the wedding, because, yeah, we were counting days. Why would I do that? I mean, regardless of everything. Number one, I'm a Christian. Number two, I'm normal. Not crazy. I cannot do some things, And when I told him that, he never did. So you know what they ended up doing? They canceled the wedding without me knowing. So I continued to prepare for the wedding. Because me, in my mind, I'm alive to the fact that we were told some of this would happen.
And I have grace cards.
I have grace cards. So he hurt me, it's fine, I can forgive. You did, it doesn't matter what you did. Yes, I know. I was told this journey is not easy, so I'm ready for it. But I ended up walking a journey with a person who technically left me on the altar. It happened like a month before, probably, but technically left me on the altar because I continued to prepare for the wedding, awaiting reconciliation.
And it had been cancelled already.
I didn't even know. He didn't even give me the courtesy of meeting up with me. No, it's too much. Of writing me a text, a WhatsApp. Hey, the wedding has been cancelled. I'm not interested in this anymore. Nothing.
So how did you find out?
Oh, I found out, so our best couple, the man, the husband in the best couple was in the group of the men, the group,
The WhatsApp group.
yeah. And so he wrote in that group 2 weeks to the wedding. So he wrote in that group.
Okay.
And then the man, because he couldn't tell me, told his wife. And then now the wife told me. So that's how I got to know my wedding was cancelled.
God.
Yeah. And when I was told, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know nothing. I just, when that happened, there's something very important I did. Because I really cried. I did. And I didn't cry at the fact that the wedding was cancelled only. I cried at the disrespect. At the, oh, this was the person I was about to commit the rest of my life to.
Na hata huwezi ni show.
WhatsApp, Lynn, I kid you not, Telegram, Facebook. Write me a text. Tell me, yeah, a person I'd known for 5 years. Well, of course, I've seen the journeys of some women here who have been with their husbands even for like 20 years and the person just walks out. But I think this is just my own journey. I'm just telling my story.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to trivialize what other people go through, but for me, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I got to know. That's how I got to know. So many lies were told during that time. And I didn't even defend myself. I said, I'm not going to defend myself. All I don't even want you to marry me. I want you to stop speaking lies about me. I've gone through a journey where the previous person victimized himself. And then this one victimized himself as well. And so making me look like I was the bad person. And yet in all this journey, I was actually the victim. Believe it or not, Lynn. I had never, ever thought evil about that person, ever. I took care of him. Even at some point when, like things would get, bad and my mom would feel like, are you sure you wanna, I'm seeing some things and I'd be like, yeah, I've made the decision. You see my mistake. Yeah, I've made many, but that's one of the big ones. And so when the wedding was cancelled, I cried, but I took an offering and I ran to church.
Wow.
To the same man of God who had been walking this journey with me. And I offered that offering. I was very broke, by the way, but I took everything I had. I wiped out my account, and I went and I gave it to the man of God. And I told him, man of God, I want you to do one thing for me, only one thing. I want you to raise an altar to fight for me. Just that. Yeah. So I told them, I am surrounded by people who speak lies about me. And not only have they hurt me, left me, deserted me, they also speak lies about me. And now they want to defame me. And I don't even have the strength to fight them. I'm not the kind of person, Lynn, who wants to say a story so that I can like trivialize somebody else's emotions or defame them. I have no need for that. My journey is different. Yeah. I got to where I am through something very different. I didn't cloud chase. I've worked and I've prayed.
That you have.
Yeah. I've never cloud chased.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've never seen me there just trying to cloud chase. I work. I develop a level of excellence in my projects. I try to develop a level of excellence. I create an artistic edge. And then I speak to people. I give myself to people. That's how I've grown. My brand may have grown slower, but I'm okay. I'm content because that's my journey. Like you said, my growth is organic. To this day, I have never put up, maybe I should start putting up promotions. But my growth is organic.
Yes, it is.
The 200,000 people who follow me on Facebook, I started with them from zero. There are almost 200,000 on YouTube. That's from zero. Never cloud chasing, just music after music and, just ministry and all that. So I just decided, Lord, I need you to fight this one for me. This one I can't. Fight for me. So I decided, Lord, I'm in your hands. You made me, and I have made mistakes. So I'm not coming to you with a self-righteous attitude of that people have hurt me. I'm coming to tell you that I made mistakes. But regardless of the mistakes that I made, I am here to let you know that I'm ready to start anew with you, if you would let me. And I felt like I just needed time to step back, allow certain journeys to complete, certain cycles to complete. And I remained indoors for like 10 months. Yeah. Every day, I wouldn't even leave to go buy food or anything. Yeah. My mother would take care of everything. Yeah. And it was, it's crazy, Lynn. There's a lot of things that I obviously would, like today I've opened up a little. I always open up just a little more further every single time I talk about this. And that's only because I feel comfortable to do it. But then most importantly, because I feel like from my journey, so many people would learn to not be gullible and also to not be too giving.
Now caring.
And no, be caring, be gentle, be all that. But be discerning. Some of these things just require you to, let your antennae just, go up, regardless how much you love somebody and all that. And so, yeah, my wedding was cancelled and I went into the house and I actually moved out my family home. I used to live in my family home, but I moved out. And that's only because I felt like, my God, I don't want to be here when the wedding day comes. I moved out like, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks to the wedding day. And this is because these are the same people wenye walikuja ile first meeting, wakakuja rorashio, wakakuja. Can you imagine? I was so blind to the fact that the wedding had been cancelled that I actually had a tea party. And what was worse, Lynn, is that people had raised, I had a WhatsApp group of very few people who were helping me to raise some of these finances for the wedding. And I had spent all that money in trying to make the wedding. To this day, my wedding gown, which costed lots of money, is still at the tailor. Never had the heart to even go for it. I the tailor is my friend and she normally has a store where she just said, put it up there. And I said, she said, what do you want to do up with it? I told her, all I know is I'll never wear it. But what I'll do with it, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it out. Maybe I'll give it out to a young couple who are needing something like that, and they need something to make their day beautiful because it's a beautiful dress. And I had spent a lot of money on a lot of things. My mother's dress for the wedding costed a fortune, and the only thing I was left with concerning the wedding, because kulikuwa na zile vitu ziliambiwa hizi ni za the family of the bride. Yeah. And when you hear the family of the bride, that's a bride, because I'm a breadwinner in my home, right? So I'm the one taking care of these things, of course with the support of so many friends who had come to give me this support. And so every money that I would get, ikifika hii naenda nalipa hii, ikifika hii naenda nalipa hii. The only thing I'd been left to buy was just the shoes, Lynn. And that was just, we had just planned to go. It was just one weekend to pick up the shoes. I had the hair accessories. I had everything ready. Heck, my lines up, my bridesmaids had the addresses. Everybody was ready.
Sa unaona wewe ukisema yes, ndio watu wasikue na shame. Kuna mwenye hata hawezi maliza harusi kwanza ndio usikue na shame. Sasa, you see? Damn.
Yeah.
That's hard. So I was just trying to make you laugh.
So it's just crazy, but it's my journey.
Yep. My journey.
It's my journey. And obviously, the first one was a bad. I was stupid.
Yeah.
I even own up to it. I'm like, you know what? Even when like, if people were to talk about it and make whatever they want to make up, and it's like, okay, I deserve it. That one, I knew. But you don't even need to tell me. I know. I was being silly. But for this second, I never really saw it coming, and I really did care for this person. I had loved them, and at some point, let me tell you how much I loved them. So at some point, I started feeling in my spirit like maybe this person lies to me about their financial status because they're not stable. So we met up with my best couple. And I was very close with a lady. So I told her, I don't know why this person never told me about their financial status. I don't know how much they earn, earn. And for purposes of my family, I don't know, my new family, I don't know if, where we will get. But what I've decided is, as soon as we begin this journey, all the money I earn, other than the little expenses that I do, I'm going to try and come up with this amount and then give him to start a business. Yeah, so that was already in my plans. So I'd already started strategizing about what I'm going to do, how I'm going to raise capital, maybe even if it's like $1 million bob or 500,000, whatever. Hardworking person is a hardworking person. And you can start a business from anywhere.
And then multiply it.
Yeah, and then multiply. You can even start with 200,000, 100,000.
Yeah.
Hata mkianza, because a hardworking person has a journey. So I said, even if whatever we'll get, we will inject it. And then everything I get, we can inject it into this business so that we keep growing the stock. And then we were actually making plans. So while this thing is happening, while I'm being told to have lied, and these things are the ones happening in the background, because I'm like, I'm at that place where I don't know whether they're financially stable. And because I don't want to embarrass them. And I've gotten to that place where I don't want to like expose him. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to help him. And if he's doing this because he don't want to talk about it, then I'm going to help him get to where he would feel he would want to be.
Talking about it.
Yeah. So.
What key lesson did you learn in those 10 months of solitude?
A lot. Number one, marriage is not just about companionship. Marriage is about purpose. And so there's somebody who you will connect with, Lynn, and all of a sudden your career just shoots, your finances just shoot. You become you start growing, because that person, regardless of how much they give to you, like financially, they support you to be who you are meant to be, and they protect you from somebody who would want to hurt you. And protecting you from somebody who would want to hurt you includes themselves.
Whoa.
Yeah, like they would even protect you from themselves. Because sometimes we have these intrusive thoughts. And those intrusive thoughts, they are very toxic in a relationship. So you deal with them, because them even like being even, they would kill this person, they would kill their purpose, or they would kill whatever it is that is going on. That's number one. So identify with a person who is very related to the purpose that that you're working in. That's first and foremost. Number two, don't undermine healing. Healing is very important. And I'll tell you what, this handling, this is my second surgery. The first surgery, I had it in June. And I'll tell you why. So, you remember I told you about the accident in 2020?
Yeah.
So, I've always had a plate. But when, after some time, I started reacting in some way. Nilikuwa naamka asubuhi na nimevimba kama nimedungwa na nyuki. And it was a long medical journey of trying to figure out what am I allergic to.
Yes.
Until finally a professor in microbiology, a researcher at Tropical Medical Research Institute found out that this tumor, ndio ilikuwa inafanya I react that way. He said it was potentially cancerous, and then also it was potentially a lot of things. So I was advised to have an immediate surgery. And the first surgery I had was in June. But unfortunately, I had 2 plates and 10 screws. 1 plate and 4 screws came out. The other one, which had 6 screws, 3 came out, 3 were cold welded. So cold welding means I think the screw she can with the tumor or something couldn't come out. So when I woke up the first time, I was told that bad news. And the surgeon then was suggesting that I need to leave with those screws. And I could have, other than the fact that I've been told they are poisoning my blood. But in as much as I wanted to have a second operation, this is what the surgeon said. He said, if you were to go through a second surgery immediately, you would traumatize, the nerves, you will traumatize. There's a lot of things you have to cut into to get to that bone. There are nerves on the skin. There's a lot of things going. There's blood vessels, all that. I don't know if there's blood vessels. I don't know. Because I hear the hand has no blood, but whatever. But anyway, there's a lot of things going on here. And I was told, first, you need to heal. And after I'd healed for like 3 months, we now started planning for the second surgery. And it's been a month since I had this cast on. But the point I'm talking about is that in this procedure of surgery, the doctor said, before we can do another surgery, you need to at least heal. Because if we did another surgery, it would traumatize you. And that's why you hear, if people who have had like multiple surgeries, sometimes some things get traumatized, nerves stop working, maybe some blood vessels are, tampered with, or whatever. There's a lot going on, and muscles and all that. So, as a person, when I was hurt the first time, I didn't have the capacity to take a second one. Because the second one, it kind of throws you off balance. Kabisa sasa. Because you didn't have balance in the first one. Kabisa. As in, like, you didn't have balance. You were left a place without balance. And that's what I'm saying. Do not trivialize healing. Heal. When you've gone through something, take time to heal. Don't say, I'll get over this one when I'm with this one. It doesn't work like that. Ask me, I did say that concerning this last person. I said, okay, so the first one was a good man. This middle one, I don't know. But then this one is a good man. It's just we have our own differences. And I'm going to heal while I walk the journey with him. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. Because, this other person who you are walking the journey with requires you to also be emotionally available and to be mature and to be what do you call it? A type of person who they can trust. Because when you are healing, you are changing. I'll tell you something. If you start dating a boy when you're in first year, chances are in fourth year they are a very different person.
Yes.
And unless you guys have taken the same route, some take very different routes. So you find the guy decided to be a bad boy and the girl decided to be a church girl. By the time they are ending up, like, that's how healing does. Healing changes you. Like right now, I told you 2 years, 3 years. No, that was 3 years ago when all these things were happening. Yeah, it's 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I couldn't say no to someone who told me, could I marry, can I marry you? Because there were people. But as I've gone through my healing journey, because I've intentionally been healing, Lynn, I'm at a place where you come to me and like, Edith, and I feel it's too quick. I'm like,
Not now.
No, not now. And if you're not ready to take that, then bounce. Yeah.
Si lazima.
Yeah. If you're not ready to take that, then I'm okay. Because it's ikitu, si kulazimisha and all that. I don't know. I've taken so many lessons, but I've also had a lot of breakthrough, because that's even where Nitasimama came from. And when Nitasimama came out, by the way, I wasn't even making for it to trend. I was just speaking about my own journey. Clearly. Yeah. I was just speaking about my journey. I was like, ooh, guys. Mi karibu nisiagwe bwana. Kumbe wasiago ni wengi.
Wasiagaji ni wengi, wasiago ni wengi.
Wasiago pia wamejaa. Hey, bwana. So basically, I was just telling people, because for me, I'm arty.
Yes.
So if I want to tell you I was hurt, I'll put it in a song.
Yeah.
And then I might not tell you the exact story, but I'll tell you something
close to.
Yes.
Okay. Me, I can never get over your voice. I can never get over your voice, the way you talk, the way you know. Yeah.
So, adui aliomba, anisiagasiage kama ngano. Lakini Yesu aliomba, mimi nisimame kwa wema wake. Adui alitisha, anisiagasiage tena, anipepete kama ngano. Lakini Yesu akasimama, akaomba, mimi nisimame kwa wema wake. Yeah. So that one literally, when I'm talking about nitasimama, because you know that one, I didn't say nimesimama, I said nitasimama. Because when I wrote that song, I wasn't there. I was telling God, yeah, I know these things have happened, but they're not taking me down.
Nitasimama tu.
Sisi Lynn, si watu wa kwenda down with one blow. You can't take me down with one blow. And you can't take me down at all, because you're not my foundation.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, even that time, when there was a lot of fracas, because even some bloggers have tried, especially Kikuyu bloggers, given that most of my songs are actually Kikuyu.
Yes.
So some Kikuyu bloggers try to tell this story with a different intonation of trying to, make me look like something else without really knowing the story. Now I've told you the story.
Yeah.
But some of these people, when they can't really figure out what the details are, they come up with their own details, right? And they fill it up. But I remember when I was praying, because I was really praying about that, and I was telling the Lord, what is this? How do I deal with this? Because I've never...
Pata mtu ameandika kitu about you, you're like, hata unajisoma, you are like, wait, me? Is that me?
Yes. And then this was the funny thing. Can I tell you the funny thing? So one of the bloggers wrote about this man, showing him as the victim. You remember the story that was told at that time? Yeah. So she or he, because it's a pseudo account, wrote and said, a young man came to me crying, and victimized. So she was trying to relate the way I'm a bad person, the way I'm scandalous, and the way this person was the victim and all that. So when I read, I was almost angry. But I've gone through a journey that I don't need to be angry. Really. I don't. Some things are not really worth my anger. So I just wrote an email to her account, and I screenshotted some of the emails the girls had told me. And I said, well done. A good job, well done. Victimizing a narcissistic man and a predator. Yeah, good job. Well done. You managed to show him as the victim. That's amazing, right? Yeah. So this blogger is speaking about things. And because it's a pseudo account, so you can't really know who it is. So maybe they have something against me and they want to bring it out there. Yep. But in the process, it's more than that. Yeah. You see, for me, really, I'm not at a place where I don't defend myself. I don't wake up to defend myself. Because Lynn, if you woke up to defend yourself, that's all you would do. There's always a blogger writing something nasty about you and trying to make a name for themselves out of you.
We gotta get views and likes.
So, in as much as if you woke up to defend yourself, that's all you would ever do. You'd never work. You'd never build a name for yourself. That's all you would ever do. But it was more than that. I was telling her, while you're trying to make a name for yourself using defaming me, you are actually ending up victimizing a predator. My God, this person, look at the emails of girls he has taken advantage of. And that's the person who, silly.
Yeah.
And I hope she's a woman. And I told her, I hope your sister or daughter or a person in your family never
Gets to go through
what I went through. I hope they don't. And if she has sense, she knows what I said.
Yeah.
Very stupid people talking about things they don't know. Yeah. And bringing them in a way. Like now, when she says that, what does that do? It gives this person or a person like that power to take advantage over more girls like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did make my own decisions. And I said, even when I was writing to her the email, because I have it, I told her, I own up to my part of the mistakes that I did. And the mistakes that I did was accepting a person into my life without doing my due diligence, because I know better. Come on, I'm a big girl. I'm not, I'm over 30, really. I should know better. Okay, although then I was younger than 30, but if I did say yes to somebody and they were pretending to be something and I find out much later they are not, then I don't have anything to be sorry about.
That's on you.
That's on them. They lied to me. But if I did say yes and I never even did my due diligence,
That's on you.
That's now on me. And I never did. So yes, I do have my own mistakes and I own up to them. But I also use my experience to teach other people, like, don't trivialize these things. They're important. And just because this person, and this person is a lawyer in this town working with big men or whatever. And so basically, I also at that point felt like, do I even have the capacity?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing you can do to protect yourself as a person is just stand your ground. That's the biggest protection you can do. Because the best you can do is keep them out of your life. You're like, you know what? Be you, but be you outside of me. Yeah, do you, but do you
outside of me.
Yeah.
Dude, that's something. Where to be you?
Yeah, just be you. I'm not changing you, but
Just
you be you.
But be you outside of me.
Yeah. Go be you. Go do you. But the last, I think, most important thing I learned about
number 3.
Yeah. Oh, it's number 3.
Yeah.
It's like, God, I learned about the love of God. As in, Lynn, I hit rock bottom. Yeah. And when I say that, I always cry. Even now I can hear like the tears come. It's like they have been summoned or something. Like every time I say that, I feel them being summoned, like, God. But I just learned about the love of God. Man, Lynn. After such a journey, and it happened, it's like you build something and then in like a fraction of your life. Because all that happened like in a span of not more than 6 months. So man, you've been building yourself up. You've kept certain things. And then in like 6 months, everything is to sham. It's just crazy, And I just got in a place where I asked God, so why do you love me? Why do you use me the way you do? I just felt like, Lynn, I don't deserve this. As in this love that he's giving me, I don't deserve it. And I was telling him, why don't you choose somebody else? I have a degree in statistics. I'm a CPA. I can just take back my papers and go look for a job. Someone just go back to corporate work. But this one, I just felt like I just think I need to let other people do this. And I remember when God spoke to me, Lynn, I have heard from God. Maybe I'd never heard from God before, but that time it opened up my ears to begin hearing from God. Because Lynn, when that thing happened, I would lie on the floor and I wouldn't feel the cold. Nilikuwa nalala kwa floor most of the night. And I'm going to bed. But I used to sleep on the floor. As in, I was crying, I was telling God, unajua nini? I think nimeaccomplish mission yangu yani kujie. As in, like, Lord, I'm done. I'm done. I think I've had experiences to fit me, like nimetosheka. And I just want to go home. I was telling him, forgive me, then take me home. Because like when I hell. Please. Stay going to hell. So, where is Abehe?
Then tupatane.
Huko. Yeah. But I remember when God spoke to me and he told me, Edith, you cannot give up even if you want. I said, why? He said, because I chose you, you didn't choose me. I called you, you didn't call me. And so I'm the one working through you. And that's when it made sense to me. 1 Corinthians 12, 9 to 10. It made sense to me completely, And it's a time when Paul goes through a situation where he's caught up in the heavens and he sees great revelations. And he doesn't know whether he's in the human form, whether he's in the spirit form. And because of those visions that he had seen, to keep him from being conceited, the Lord gives him a thorn in his flesh. But it hurts, right? So sometimes the will of God hurts. And then, so that time when he has this thorn, he cries to God, and he cries again, and he cries to God. So the Bible says that 3 times he cries to God, and he says, Lord, remove this thorn from my flesh. Because it's like, I need to be comfortable. But God says, my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength is made perfect in your weakness. And so Paul ends up that part by saying, wow, therefore, if I should boast, I will boast only in my weakness. For when I'm weak, then I am strong. And that's when I understood what that actually means. When it says that the grace of God is sufficient. The grace. I mean, God had to strip away everything that I could take as my own righteousness. And I got to a place where I was feeling like, Lord, I've made so many mistakes. I have been, within a very short period, I felt like my virtue has been taken. Like I've been stripped away of so much. And I told God, Lord, take away this assignment. Give it to somebody else. Take away this purpose, give it to somebody else. And I remember when God said, my grace will be sufficient. Your self-righteousness is as filthy rags. Hata kama ungekuwa umefanya hizo vitu zote, your righteousness would still be like filthy rags before me. Mm-hmm. But my grace will carry you. It's sufficient. So I got to experience, so one of the greatest things, that's why I've said it's the greatest thing I realized in that time, is just how massive and how excellent the love of God can be. So right now, what that did is I'm able to minister to a person who has been doing prostitution for the last 20 years. And she's like, you don't know how many men I've slept with. I was like, so? You know what? I can explain to you a phenomenon you've never known, and that's grace. I mean, I just got to understand just how deep, how wide, how excellent the love of God is. Because I got to a place where I just felt like, And then how he introduced me back to the church was crazy. Because I remember when it was time for me to go to church, I mean, to the ministry, not to church, to the ministry. I remember getting a conviction, like, it's time for you to go to the ministry, back to the ministry. But I'm not worthy. Even you know, I'm not worthy. And then God commissioned a man of God to come at home. And when he came, he said, Edith, I sense in my spirit it's time for you to go back to ministry. So let me pray for you. And I cried. I told God, even this one you can forgive. Yes, my grace is sufficient. And then after I had gone through that journey, now the Lord told me, now you're ready. Now start producing songs. And the first song, I just remember the song goes viral. I mean, it was crazy because one morning I'm seated, then I hear it playing on Classic 105. and I'm like on my Nakageni show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Because it had never happened, you know, in the past. So I was like, this is big. And from there and then, doors start opening. And the biggest door that opened is the healing ministry. I've gotten to go to speak to women who are going through journeys that have left them completely broken. And I'm able to know what to say. And in the past, I would go there and I'm like,
What?
I'm Monalia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wako emotional. Ajiachia nini. You know, it's like how people tell me, like in all my videos, I always end up crying.
yes.
By the way, when I'm telling, like even when I'm preaching, I always be like, but people, you know, I always end up crying. It's not because I'm hurting. I just feel like, as in me, I live in grace. Even right now, I live in grace. Like, so I always feel like people, man, you should know. You should know just how much love you guys can experience when, you know, if you did this and stuff. But God opened me up to ministries. I've been able to go speak to people. Yeah. I've been able to counsel people. Now the challenge is that I've not yet institutionalized my meeting, my ministry. But I'm doing that.
Good.
Glory to God.
Good.
So I've just registered a society.
Yeah.
And when it is time, I will introduce it.
Okay.
So the society, I went for a society because the other one was now a church. And I'm not in ministry like that. At least
Why?
not now. At least not now.
Why? But I have noticed you keep.
It's not like I've not even been told.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, Lord, unless you please speak. And I'm like, Gideon, I now put it here. I now I take it. I can't say I'm afraid of it. I just think it's a huge responsibility, and so by the time you get there, kunena anene na atume mnenaji, alafu huyo mnenaji aconfirm huyu mnenaji mwingine. So, but anyway, it's not. I'm not opposed to it. I just feel like I'm not ready, and I've not received the conviction, and yeah, you know, it's like Ujita, because if he begins a good work in me, he will finish.
He will finish.
But if I start a good work in myself,
utajimaliza. Si utajimaliza. Yeah.
So,
how did you deal with like before I forgot to ask something, but I didn't want to interrupt. How did you deal with the talks around? I mean, people knew, you know, you're getting married, preparations, kila kitu. How did you deal with the talks around?
Oh, you know, it was bad because my mentor, a pastor in this city, a big one, I used to be with her in radio, and she had announced it on radio like several weeks. Like she was doing it like from a place of pride. My girl is getting married, and you guys have seen nothing. When it went down real quick. It was real bad. It was national shame, man. It was just crazy. I was that place where I was like, Lord, you had to introduce it to the whole Kenya. And then our bloggers took it out.
Yes.
So there's this famous blogger, the one for the pseudo account, especially in Kikuyu. Yeah, so he wrote about it, of course. He or she wrote about it. And hey, katrend bwana. Hey, bloggers wakaichukua hii. Nilikuwa tunaenda blog Edith bado ina trend. Okay, sorry. Narudi bado ina trend. Okay, natoka. But the good thing is that some people were empathetic. Some people were mocking me. Some people were... Kenya is a country where there's a lot of comedy. So they made a comical effect of what was going on. Mpaka niliambiwa, hey, sis, acha kutafuta bwanako peke yako. Hakuna. Awako. So kama ni issue ya cheating, wewe sahau, samea hiyo kitu iendelee bwana. Kenya suffered. So I was hurting while laughing.
I cannot.
Hey, it was crazy.
Tikenya, wacha kutafuta kitu yako peke
yako.
Hakuna
bwana yako peke yako. Even ndo niliambiwa. But but you know that wasn't the issue. that was never the issue. So I was just looking at them and I was like, wow, clueless people just. And then the funny thing is, the person who has made that post, there's like, so unajua comment section in Kenya is feared more than
the post
court
itself.
More than court. Watch a post. I mean, even the court itself fears comment section.
Yes.
Comment section was blazing. After somebody advised me, a friend of mine wrote to me, usiende comment section, utachizi. So I stayed away from comment section. Sijui nini waliandika comment section. Sijaijua mpaka leo. Siwezi fungua hizo. Hiyo wacha iende bygones, let bygones be bygones. Sasa wacha tuafute kwa meza hii.
Yes.
Na labda sitazisoma. Nikiona kuona zimeanza kuwaka.
Not here. Not here.
Here we are positive.
Here my people are amazing. No, you'll find it maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
After they cut these clips into small pieces and put them there, but here, nope.
Yeah.
No.
So
sitafuta wako peke yako.
Nakwambia.
Man, I'm happy to see you laugh.
Let me tell you, it's been a journey before I could get to where I am.
Yeah.
I think mostly my biggest journey has been in relearning myself, because I think I've changed. Yeah. I used to be too out there. You should have seen me lean, and I was working, I was in corporate. And then you should have seen me working late nights to answer people on Facebook. So I'm going through every message, answering them. And asubuhi naamka kwenda kwa kampuni. So most of the times I'm tired, trying to make sure that everybody is okay. Until the time when I discovered, God, man, you're too many. I can't even handle like a quarter. Like it would run my mind mad. So I might need help to do that. Or sometimes I just need to give myself adequate time for me to do it. Not like the moment I'm on it and stuff like that. So I have changed a little bit. I care for myself a little more, you know. Beautiful. And yeah, it's a beautiful journey. Not beautiful because of atikuna maua, whatever, but it's beautiful because of the destination. I know where I'm going.
And you know your foundation?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I told you, even if you try to break me, you can't. I remember that time when the bloggers were writing all this, and it looked like as if they were trying to smear my brand with mud, smear my name with mud, speak about things they don't even know. You know, I told you, when they don't know stories, sometimes they cook up stories.
Yeah.
And some of those stories they cook up are really nasty. So I remember when I was praying, God told me, whatever is born of God cannot die.
Yes.
Yeah. And what if man didn't make you, it can break you. Yeah, that's the weakness of being built by man. If man makes you, it can break you. But if no hands of man were used to make you, if God, has carved out the woman you are today, nobody can break you. Let them try.
If your brand is of God,
yeah. If your brand is founded on God and you've grown it, with the fear of God, ain't nobody breaking you. Yeah, there's gonna be storms. It's fine.
Yeah.
Storms will come, but they come to test the foundation. They only come to test how strong you are. But you ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the people that stood with your brand, man? Cause people love you.
I have diehards. Oh my God, I have diehards. Crazy, crazy diehards. Kabisa. People who are like, they don't know the story. But they're like, you know what? I'll still stand with her. They're like, but we've had this. I know her. And I know that I'll stand with her. And even if she's done that, I'll still stand with her. Those are the diehards I have. But let me tell you something. Those people held me together with their prayers, with their kind words. Sometimes when you just go and you find somebody has written a kind word, it goes a long way. But then let me tell you, one kind word can dismiss 10,000 bad comments.
For real.
For real. Just one person saying, and say, I love you from the bottom of my heart, I pray for you, blah, blah, blah. The rest of the 10 million bad comments ain't nothing. And then something else that God also taught me within that journey is that the people who don't like you, especially because some of them, Lynn, they don't like you, not because they know you, but they just don't like you.
Imagine equally. Imagine there are people out there. Imagine there are actually people out there, number one, they don't know you, but they don't like you.
Anakaa maringo.
You know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually a thing to be hated by someone who has no idea who you are and what you do.
Yeah. You see, like for me, there are some people who might mistake my silence for arrogance sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I speak in English, which makes the arrogance even more demure, small cute say. Yeah, you know, especially when I do proper English.
Yes.
They're like, first of all, akatai kuongea, then akiongea ongea kitu atusikii.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, you know, I have so much love and compassion for such people because I'm like, you're projecting your insecurities. By how you speak, you show me what you are. So when I see what you are, I see a sorry person, so I feel sorry. Yeah. Because a person who is bold in their own person will make decisions not based on what other people say and all that, but based on, you know, number one, information.
Yes.
And then number two, your own judgment of everything that goes on. But one thing God taught me, Jesus Christ alitembea na watu, akawaponya, akawafufulia wafu, sijui akaheal the lame, and it was when it was time to be crucified. Crucify him. We want the thief. Crucify
Jesus must go. Like,
Jesus must go. I'm not going to comment on that.
On that note, guys,
that
remember, reject.
Yes. So, if people crucified a Lord who healed and saved and raised from the dead and do that.
Who died.
And who died.
For their sins.
Yeah. So basically, and if today they're still rejecting him, I mean, he did all that, but you tell somebody about Jesus and it's like, I want nothing to do with that. And if they're still rejecting him after all that he did, after the price, mini nani sasa. So the same rejection that they went through, there are some people who, you know, but then kuna madai had come a Peter, as in if a soldier comes trying to, skio.
On that note, I love you, my people. You guys talk of diehards. Me, I know diehards.
I know.
Me, I know. I
like,
know.
They said the what?
At what?
But let me tell you, that time in diehards, wow, it was crazy. Comment section was blazing.
Yeah.
Because there are also those diehards who are very vocal on the keyboard. Wanatafuta comment mbaya.
Wanatafuta mtu amekukucha.
Then they go, wanaflock hapo. Wewe ni nani, ondoka hapa. So they defend you until ukienda hapo you're like, no need to defend myself. I'm defended. Move on. You know?
But I think it's a miracle to experience such people.
Yes.
Like it's a miracle to experience me.
But you only experience that if your growth is organic.
I think, I know so.
Yeah.
Yeah, me, by the way that you've said, there's a time you'll find yourself trending there. By the time you're getting into that post, you're like, oh, shouldn't even say something. I'm good.
I'm good.
You know, and I feel like people who... One thing we forget, even as people of influence, is to actually pray for our diehards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of thanksgiving that way.
Well,
I don't think, I think
like, it's because sometimes we take it for granted.
I think so. I think unaona ni right yangu kukuwa na wase wanapenda Lynn, wana defend Lynn nini.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just be quiet here and I just remember, because man, sometimes you even get to know them by name.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time I'll upload a video and then if there are some people who are missing on the comment section, I start to wonder, where are they?
Yeah.
Like, where is Bella? You know? Where is Kasu? Ask, even I don't have, who do we ask about? on Kaswiti.
Kaswiti.
We know a Kaswiti. Like if Kaswiti misses on the comment section,
please.
oh my goodness,
We
like,
will look
you
for her.
feel like
Yeah.
where is there are those people who, if they don't comment, you are like, I don't take it for granted, man.
I know what you're saying, Lynn, because I've seen a lot of that, and especially because you see platforms like my Facebook and even IG, even TikTok, they grow organically. I have put my blood and sweat into them. A lot of the favor of God has gone into making it grow, because obviously it's the favor of God. But I've taken time to connect with people, sometimes not one-on-one, but what I normally write to them is my heart. And so they know me and they know where we've come from with them. I was this type of person. I grew into this. I grew into this. And now this is where I am. So when something happens, these people, they might not know what you eat, what you drink, how you live, and your personal life or whatever, but they have grown with you. They've grown with your brand. And it's so important for you to have people like that. Because, especially because someone like me, like for instance, I have no brothers, no sisters. I have my cousins who we have, we have since, tried to make it a bit close, but I only have probably like one, at most two, who are close to me. So that means I don't have too many people to help me fight off any bad negativity. So these people come and connect themselves to your brand. They become that family you don't have. True. And they become, they're like the more than fans, the family. They're your tribe. So if you speak, they are there to support you. And if you are beaten, either they can beat away those people, and even if it came out as though like, like something inakuangukia, there'd be those people who are also there to encourage you with this journey, and they're so important.
They're important. Look at you.
I am, you know what? This came to take me out, but I never could. It never could. But what I can tell you though, Lynn, is that onwards, the journey that I have, I think I was naive in a lot of things, and possibly because I saw I saw good in people. I see, and even to this day, I like seeing good in people. But then my journey has taught me that there are people who are not good. Yeah. And so while I like to see good in people, I have gotten to a place where I must see the truth in people. I have to look for that truth in them. Yeah. So it's not innocent until proven guilty anymore. Yeah. It's pending until proven what you are. I need to actually look at the fruit in your life. And you see, because for me, I'm a believer, and I believe that a person who is a true believer should exude the fruit of the Spirit. Patience, kindness, love, gentleness, self-control, some of those things. Oh my goodness. I might not judge you, but I'm a fruit inspector. I love that thing that said by Pastor John Canson. I'm a fruit inspector. So when you see something like this, you're not patient, I'm seeing. When you're not gentle, I'm seeing. And it doesn't mean gentle with me, it's gentle with everybody. Because fruits, they are not one-sided. I'm gentle with that one. And then when a waiter comes, you are all over just, making a fuss and speaking bad names. I'll be out of the door before you know it. So I am a fruit inspector. And for this time, by God's grace, I'm allowing really God to show me who people are. And that's why I've taken some time to stay aside. I'm not yet ready. I'm not there yet. But I'm just taking time to just ask God to show me who I am as a person, so that I'm able to also understand His will for my life.
Beautiful.
And just keep abreast with what His will is every single session. But generally speaking, like I told you, marriage is not about companionship. It's about purpose. Yeah. So if somebody, in as much as a person, a wonderful companion, when you're with them, you laugh, you have fun, marriage is not about companionship. It's about, there's a greater thing that comes with marriage other than just companionship and friendship. Companionship is one of them. Yeah, is one of them. But even Adam, Bible says that when God, created, God saw that man was lonely, right? And He created a woman for him. But guess what? After they had been brought together and Adam was not lonely anymore, purpose kicked in. And so there's some jobs they had to do, there's some things they had to do. And that's why whatever affected the woman ended up affecting the man. Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
I wish you so much more than this. To see you smile is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
To see you bold and speak about it. Me, I've picked so many things here. To know who your foundation is, where your destination is. So much. There's so much people can learn from your story, and to know this is coming from you. Because again, not only do you have such a big organic following, but for them to be able to see, man, she went through that, and this is how she, no, this is how God picked her.
Yes. And I wish the people who take up this story, because I know it might be spun by bloggers.
Yes.
I wish they just tell the story as it is. Yeah, because again, now the problem with our bloggers is that they always title things into whatever they are not, giving people wrong, implications and all that. And so that if this story is told exactly as it is in its original form, then it's able to touch lives. People will take this story and they will summarize it for you, and then now they'll put it on blogs
For you.
Yes,
Please.
So while you summarize, please summarize it. Summarize the truth.
Yeah, summarize the truth. Or when you watch the short versions, go look for the original. Yes. And learn from it.
That's what I'm saying. Summarize the truth and then direct people to where the truth is expounded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? What are we expecting? What are we working on?
So I have two different dimensions of what I'm doing.
Yes.
The first one is sort of like some projects that I was yet to have finished before a lot of these things happened, and then also some things that have just come in as we move on along. But then now there's the sound I want to raise. There's what God has given me that I need to do. They'll probably come somewhere around next year.
Good.
So next year we will raise a new sound.
Okay.
Actually starting from the beginning of the year, maybe even January 1st, because it's something we're already working on. Yeah. But even before we get there, we still have other great, amazing stuff that God is, God is gonna, walk through and, bless people through. Yeah. Particularly, God has been giving. I just released a Kikuyu R&B. You saw it. My latest song is an R&B, yeah. So I released, it was really weird because itapata views. Kikuyus have a way of singing, eh? Yes. And we love it. We love our way of singing. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh. That song, it goes, Arahoka, Odaidore, Kiriro giakwa, Gekinya kurewe, Ndukareke ngue nigutite jigwira tha nigwihokete. So that's the new R&B. Yeah. And then now I'm thinking that by the time this show comes out, either zitatokania ama labda itakuwa imetoka. Yeah. So I'm going to do a Mogithi. Alafu, please, people, I'm still born again. Hallelujah. Mogithi is a, sometimes
you're affiliated with the career.
Yeah, cause when God gave me this song, this Mogithi song, I told God, hey Lord, see, I changed it to reggae. Like I was feeling like, it's too much. It's too much out there. Yeah. And I was like, I want to change it to reggae, but God told me no. I want you to sing it like this because there's a target group that listens to this kind of music, and those are the people I want to communicate with. And so when I did the Mogithi, a producer friend of mine first did it, and then after I did it, I listened to it and I was like, this is not Mogithi. It's not. And so he was offended, by the way. He was like, it looks like my level of production is not up to the level of your artistry. I was like, dude, where did that come from? Yes. I'm not trying to demean your artistry. I'm just saying this is not Mogithi, especially because it was a different dialect. Yeah. And then so what I told him, please don't be mad, just allow me to redo it. So I just went into town and I went to River Road. Good. All the way downtown. Yeah. And ikaenda huko kwa a very good studio in downtown. Yeah. Na I didn't know how that was how Mugithi was done. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So it is the actual Mugithi.
Yes. You seem happy about it.
I am excited because every time my mom hears it, she's like, unatoa hiyo Mugithi lini? Because you know Mugithi originally, it's as in it's in the hearts of Kikuyus. Like it's a Kikuyu based song, and this song is Kikuyu, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sorry, my people who don't hear Kikuyu. I'll put translations.
Okay, good.
I'll put the translation. But much later, now we will also release songs in other languages.
Beautiful.
As you know, So we will keep diversifying, and then I'll keep coming home. Kasabu, I love my people. Yes. I love my language. Yeah. But then now Kenya has become my tribe. Yeah. And my tribe is also expanding into other countries as well. Maybe your tribe will also be my tribe. Maybe your diehards can become my diehards. Good. Can we share diehards?
Yes, let's share diehards. Okay. Mine have no problem coming to check you out. Mine have no problem coming to check you out. Beautiful. Yeah. Once again, I'm so proud of you. I know we go way back.
We
go way back. But for me to see you once again smile is a beautiful thing. It takes a lot. And I always say, bede saa ingine ukani kitu kubwa, but pia angalia saa ingine si kubwa. Amka. Amka. I know sometimes it looks so big. You wonder, man, will I ever get through this? Always remember, you can and you will.
I think, like I said, storms will come, but they'll come to test your capacity to endure. Good. And so what doesn't kill you will leave you stronger, So whenever something comes, understand, the verse that is always in my heart, because like I told you, I move by the word. Yeah. Not just as a minister, I'm a Christian. So 1 Corinthians 10:13 says that there is no temptation that is new to man. But with every temptation, he brings the power to overcome it. So that means that when you receive a temptation, then just be more keen, because the strength to overcome it iko tu kwa vicinity. You have more capacity than you thought. If a temptation comes and like, damn, I feel like this one is here to take me out. You have more strength than you thought you had. Because when I was going through some of these things, my friends would come to my house and they're like, damn, girl, you're strong. You're still here. You're still together. You're still And I would still go live once in a while. Obviously, very, very few times. But yeah, it's a journey that revealed, wow, I could take this and remain standing. Yeah. Yeah. So now I know that I have capacity more than I thought I did. And so my journey is to try and discover just how much more capacity do I have. And that does not mean allowing anything that would tempt me any further, but now from a very, godly perspective, like, Lord, I want you to, one day at a time, because I might not be handled. I might not be capable to handle 2 days at a time, but just one day at a time, reveal to me how much more can I take. And then with that much more, you keep building my muscle so that I can take more and more and more as time goes on.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Your art is beautiful. Your voice
is
beautiful. And I can wish you nothing but all the best from here onwards. Can't wait for our next conversation.
Yeah.
Who knows, 2 years, 1 year, next year, 10 years. I know for sure we'll sit again and do this one more time.
I want to congratulate you.
Oh, thank you, babe.
Yeah, because, man, I've seen you hustle. Yeah, I've seen you work your way I've seen you work all the way up.
Yeah, God is good.
And I have seen the fruit of your hard work integrated in God's favor and God's mercy. Because kuna watu wanaomba, but they're doing nothing about it. Yeah, but you have done that thing of taking the bull by its horns. And within a very short time, by the way, risen all the way to the top. Yeah. And that is not easy.
It's not. Yeah. I'm grateful.
I just tell you, keep on keeping on. But then also in the same light as I am, just keeping up your discernment. Yeah. Kwa sababu sio wote wenye wanakuchekesha ni marafiki, so just being keen and listening from God, everything that you do, but you're changing a lot of lives. You're encouraging a lot of people. You don't just give sob stories. This is not a place where we come to sob.
Those sober stories too. By the way, I don't reply to that statement, but I always say wait till it's your turn.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
Because see, I told you, it's like when I would go to those names, I'm like, why are you crying, man?
Wait till it's your turn. See, you are so good. You exist in a life where everything is perfect, where everything is so demure, it's cute, it's whatever. You stay there. Wait till it's your turn. It's your turn. But I appreciate you.
So motivation comes from a story. And for you to actually get to the motivation, you have to understand the journey. You have to understand the story. So keep on doing it.
I know my foundation. Man, there's one thing I don't
Ain't no
care
one can
about.
break you.
Me, there are things that it's there are things I don't. But you know, sometimes you could be sitting in a place and you see what people are missing, and they appear they know what they are saying, but they know nothing. And you're just sitting there and you are like, I wish you knew. I wish you knew ignorance is not bliss.
It's not. Not at all. Ask me. I know ignorance is not bliss at all.
Unatumalizia na kawimbo ama? Leo naweza kaa hapa unatumalizia na kawimbo, but please, before we wind up, anything you want to add, feel free to. And
people should check me out.
Tell my people where they can check you out, because I'm about to send them to your YouTube channel right now. But other platforms where they can check you out, feel free.
Okay.
Yes.
So my YouTube channel is Edith Wairimu. That's my YouTube channel. My Instagram is Edith Wairimu Global. TikTok is also Edith Wairimu Global. My Facebook, for now, it's Edith Wairimu Kenya. But if you don't find Kenya, just try Global. Because what happened, I'd already registered for the blue tick. So now I've had to deregister so that I can be able to change the name.
To add Global.
To change Kenya into global. And that's because that's the impact that I desire to have, a global impact. So if you don't find Edith Wairimu Kenya, just try Edith Wairimu Global.
Go you. Go out and conquer. As you always do.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being so brave, vulnerable, and letting me especially into your space. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you felt comfortable sharing this with me. Honestly.
I know, what I know is that everything we say is a calculated risk. I was telling you that when you speak about your personal life, it must never be that thing that you do out of because you wanna trend, or you want to. Personally, you know, I don't like trending, and I don't like bad limelight. But for me, this story, I have said it with the sole intention of educating the younger me. It's like one of those questions where you're asked, what would you tell your younger self? So the things I've spoken about, those are the things I'll tell my younger self. And I'll tell them, be careful, continue being gentle, continue being all that demure, cutesy, and all the other things. But please understand that not everybody in the world is the same way that you're trying to build yourself up to be. And that being said, you need to be careful that when they are not, you do not become damages.
Good. Appreciate you. Thank you. We wind up?
No problem.
Do you want to wind up for us? Let me see how that would look like.
Lynn, you want to give me a job?
Unaambia tu watu asante for watching. You appreciate our audience. Unaambia our partner Kings Developers asante kwa kusponsor show. And then whichever flow to. Looking at that camera. Yes.
Hello, viewers of Eleanor's show. I have so much enjoyed to spend this time with you, hanging out with Lynn and hanging out with you all. I hope and pray that my story has been a blessing. Please continue to watch everything that Lynn has out for you, because it's always amazing. Subscribe.
Yes.
Like. and share.
Comment.
And
share.
comment.
Yes. Ujambia partner asante sana tafuta.
Wanaitwa nani?
Kings Developers.
Kings Developer. Okay.
Ni wa real estate.
We're real estate. Okay. Thank you so much to Kings Developers Limited for supporting LNS. We appreciate you. We support you. And we thank you for being a part of our journey. Asante sana.
Not bad.
I am not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. Imagine sitaongeza. Like sitaongeza. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
And now we say, see you guys tomorrow, either 10 a.m. or 7 p.m.
See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. God bless you.
Good.
Nimejaribu. Hiyo interview ya journalism nimepita.